and it is Wednesday. Normally, I will keep doing these on Tuesday. I'm sorry, with not feeling good, it's just been not too on track lately. So tonight, I want to work with our Sweetly Scripted stamp set. It's one of my faves, and unfortunately, this one is on the last chance list. So I am going to be sharing two cards. They're going to be sweet and simple, but they're going to be highlighting some fun yet easy techniques. So, Sweetly Scripted. I love these. They're just unique. So, Tony said one of her faves too. Good. Good. So, on our first card, we're going to do what they call a split card. These are totally easy to make. You get 1, 2, 3, 9 of these from a 12 by 12 sheet of paper because you're going to cut your designer paper down to 4 by 4. And then we are going to be cutting this again. Let me see if I can get this up here for you. You're going to pick out your paper and see how you want it to sit. It's going to be a little sideways, so that's okay. That's why I picked flowers, because they're pretty gracious on when you do a technique like this. So you're going to line up one tip in the cutter blade or in the channel here, and then the other tip as well. I hope I got this all in here. I'm going to go up here a little further so you can see both of these little edges are in the channel of the cutting blade. So I like to start in the middle because that way it doesn't bend my ends. And then we're just going to cut down and come back. And then you have a nice cut here. This is probably the hardest part of your card. Uh-oh. Excuse me. So with this, I have 2, 4, 5, 5 1/4 sheets. One is for the front, one is for the inside. And I have those because I'm using basic black. This is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. And we are going to fold that, score it, burnish it at 4 1/4. So it's an A2 size card. So there we go. And that is the reason why we're using the white, because I'm like the black outline there, and it really makes my designer paper pop. Hi, Nicole. So let me grab my adhesive here, and I want to make sure I get in my corners really good. I have to order myself some glue because I like using glue for this technique because you can get it exactly where you want it. And then there's no little things hanging out if you didn't get on there perfect. All right, now we're going to line this up. I'm going to put that right to the edge. And same with the top. You can see that I've got that lined up tip to tip. And you can do this at 3 inches as well. You're just going to have a lot wider gap. So if you have a bigger greeting, do the 3 by 3 because that will give you even more cards to play with, right? And there's so many fun designer papers. This just makes a card look so cool, but it's so easy to do. Okay, we're going to line that up over here and then down again in our corner. And I'm using that Stampin' Seal Plus, not necessary really with this card. All right. So from our Sweetly Scripted, we're going to use the happy birthday. You could use for this card, you could use happy anniversary, the congratulations, a million thanks, speedy recovery, or save the date with this pattern paper. And this comes from Lovely Garden Designer Paper. This is one of the new online exclusive papers. So we're going to grab this and I'm going to bring my leaf in here. I'll be using that as well. We're just going to ink up our happy birthday. There we go. And I'm going to line this up here for myself to make it easy. Quick tip and easy to make lining up your stamp perfect. And I'm just tapping this off. And then I'm going to get my chamois out here and clean this. Because I am going to be making another card. So I'll take this one off. Okay. You can pop this up if you'd like. You don't have to. I am not going to today, just for, I don't know, just for the heck of it, I guess. Makes mailing super simple if you don't have all those layers and layers, but I think this looks pretty. I do have to add a couple embellishments because that just makes it more fun. And I am using those pretty heart sequins. And they are gold, and I like that because this in here has a little touch of, it looks kind of like, I'm gonna stick this one right to the end. In the gold tones of the yellows. Okay. And then I'm gonna use two little ones. I'm gonna put one between the happy and the birthday. That's just a little twist. And then one more little one over here where we started. I know it's not a true triangle, but it just goes with the flow of the card. Sweet and simple. Let's do a little inside here. It takes some garden green. And this little leaf comes from Layered Leaves, Layering Leaves, I believe. But it kind of matches. So we're just going to tuck that on there. So you can just put a little bit of something on the inside. Normally, I put leftover designer paper on the inside, but guess what? When you're working with 4x4, you have no leftover paper. So I just pulled this little stamp out. So again, sweet and simple, basic stamping, easy techniques, but great when you're in a hurry and you just don't want, I mean, come on, designer papers are so pretty nowadays that just a greeting with the designer paper is gorgeous. But when you can add just a little split in there, look at what that does. Quick and easy and a little bit special. Okay, now we're going to have a little bit more fun here. Not that that wasn't. We're going to bring this in. Put my Memento ink back. I'm going to need my paper piercing pad. You guys are quiet tonight. Okay, put this back in here. And we are going to grab this one here. A million thanks. Now you're talking. Glad you like it. Okay. I'm going to set this one off a little bit here. Great. There we go. Okay. So now this card is more what I'd call a gradient color stamping. So with my Sweetly Scripted, we're going to bring 5 colors in, and I am going to start with Daffodil Delight. I know you really can't see that because I got kind of close on this one. So let's maybe slide them right there. How's that? Okay. And we're going to bring our card in. The front is 4 inches by a 5 1/4. So our base is just going to be 8.5 by 5.5. Again, scored and folded at 4 1/4. So it's just a regular A2 base card. And we're going to have a little fun with this one. So I am going to start with yellow. So my colors are going to be a bit gradient, and I'm going to use 5 colors. So we're going to start with our Daffodil Delight, and we're going to get this nice and inked up. Okay. And then since I have 5, my middle one's going to go here. So I'm going to move this up. I'm splitting my card up into 5 sections. So we're going to stamp 1. And then without re-inking, I'm going to stamp it again. So there we go. This is how we start. Now we're going to move into pumpkin pie. So I'm going to use the colors of the rainbow for this one. Give me that space there, so I'll go right about here. And I'm holding it on just for a second so it absorbs that ink nicely. There we go. Close this one up, and we're moving into our real red. You notice I haven't cleaned this off yet because our color changes were not drastic enough to really mess up my inks, and the fact that I stamped off, I kind of saved myself there. So now we're going to put this one right here, and I am lining up my A for A Million Thanks as I go along. So I'm trying to keep it as straight as I can. Now I'm going to go in here and just tap a little bit of this color off. This is just a wet paper towel, and I'm not rubbing, I'm just tapping because I don't want any of the filaments to get on there. And then to really clean it off, I just use my chamois. This way you don't get any of those little filaments on your stamps, because a baby wipe will do that. And then when you go into your color, you will get those little filaments in your ink. Okay. Now we're going to do Gorgeous Grape. So ink these up. Ooh, these guys are juicy. Line up that A, give myself a space here. Stamp once. And once again. You could do this with any image. It doesn't necessarily have to be a word stamp. So you can do this with flowers or, anything that would go across your sheet. It's just a fun and easy technique to play with. One more, we're going to do that blueberry bushel. Up here. Ooh, I got a little space left over. And one here. And to be honest, I think I'm going to come in one more time and do one more blue one. Just hold that on a little bit longer. Hopefully it'll get a little bit darker. So I could have did a night of navy, but you guys know my pads are all downstairs. So there we go. Get that blotted up and then cleaned up. So super simple. You could put it together just like this. Put this one away. Or what I did is I took a little die from Spotlight on Nature, and then I took the little thanks from Simply Said. That is in the annual catalog. And you know what? I never even saw it at first. So take a look. It's right in the beginning of the catalog. I don't have that with me right now, so I can't tell you what page, but man, it's so simple. I mean, such a cool, Simply Said it's called. So if you're a greeting person like me, I'll buy a flower set just because I like the greetings. Even though most of us say we don't need more flowers, that's what we tend to move towards, right? We do. Although I did get a peek at the new catalog. That's right, ladies. There's a new annual catalog coming up. So that's going to be fun. And they got a little bit of everything in there. So this just highlights the word thanks, and it just gives you a little more dimension. You could pop this one up, or you could just put it straight down. You could also back it with a little color if you wanted to pop even more. I like white on white. I think it looks classy. But there are two fun and easy techniques. Again, this is gradient color stamping, or some people call it rainbow stamping. But I do the gradient because you're working with two shades of the same color. And then we have our split card technique. So two simple techniques. They go fairly fast, a lot of fun. You notice that even though we did 5 colors, it did not take long. So there are our two techniques tonight, done with our sweetly scripted designer stem set. Let's come on. We need a little bling here too, right? Oops, my thing's coming off. I got to do that. I got to do a little thanks. This one I will put. I'm still going to do 3, and I'm going to get them all over the place. Right there. Nice way to say thank you, right? And again, those are the gold heart sequins, are simply, sweetly scripted, and 2 fun techniques. And that was it. And oh my gosh, that was just slightly over 20 minutes. And ladies, guess what? It don't take long, do they? Too much fun. And we even had a little trouble in the beginning. Cases, yes, they are cute and quick. They are. So, you know, have a try at these. Again, they're your basic stamp cuts. They're 4 by 5 1/4. Your base is 8.5 by 5.5. So simple to do. Designer paper 4 by 4. Cut right down the ends. And that is it for this evening. Thank you for hanging out with me. My throat needs some more water. And I will have a giveaway tonight. So keep your eye open because I'll be drawing from all of you who hung out with me tonight and watched. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.